and welcome to Tomorrow is Yesterday, the Star Trek podcast, the show where we review every episode of Star Trek in production order. My name is Brandon Couch, and with me, as always, introduce yourself, David.
Since you just introduced me by my first name, my name is David Moss, and that's it.
That's it.
We're done. That's a wrap.
We're done.
No,
Okay, that's the end of the podcast. All right, today we're talking about Mudd's Women. This is a rough one, guys.
Or Mudd's Girls, as I like to call it.
All right, first aired on October 13th, 1966. Directed by Harvey Hart, teleplay by Stephen Kandel, and story by Gene Roddenberry.
Okay.
Let's get into our cast. And as I like to do, I'm going to give you the cast, the character they're playing. I'm going to tell you the most recent thing they acted in.
Okay.
So we have Roger C. Carmel as Harcourt Fenton Mudd, whose last role was in an episode of DuckTales. And I learned that he did a lot of voice work on Transformers over the years.
Hey, I've heard of both of those things. I think this is the first actor I've actually heard of what he's played in.
Yeah, he played Cyclonus on Transformers over the years.
Yeah, I don't know any of the Transformers names besides Optimus Prime.
I don't know. You just know Optimus Prime.
And the B guy.
Autobots, roll out.
Decepticons.
Alright, we have Karen Steele as Eve McHuron, whose last role was the 1972 film Trap on Cougar Mountain.
I don't know that one.
Me neither. I think it's safe to say that neither of us are going to have heard of any of the rest of these.
Okay.
Alright, we have Maggie Threat as Ruth, whose last role was in an episode of Run, Joe, Run.
I've heard of that. No,
have you? No. We have Susan Denberg as Magda, who most recently played Christina in the 1967 film Frankenstein Created Woman.
Never heard of that.
Okay, I've probably heard of that because it's a Frankenstein movie. We've got Jim Goodwin as Lieutenant John Farrell, whose last role was pool attendant in the 1979 film Marciano.
Nope. But I do know a guy named Jim Goodwin.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Gene Dinarski, I probably butchered that last name, as Ben Childress, whose last role was Joseph Stalin in the 2020 video game Command & Conquer Red Alert Remastered.
I've heard of Command & Conquer, but I've never played it.
We have John Kowal as Herm Gossett, who was in 7 episodes of Gunsmoke at the end of his career.
I've heard of Gunsmoke.
And we have Seaman Glass as Benton, whose last role was Rocco's trainer in the 1991 short film Birch Street Gym.
Never heard of that.
I mean, it's a short film. Do you ever hear of short films?
No.
Me neither. So this episode was almost the pilot both times. Before choosing to make the cage and before going with Where No Man Has Gone Before, this episode was in consideration for being the pilot episode. They didn't go with this because they knew if they went with the episode with the intergalactic pimp and the 3 space hookers, they'd never make it to air.
So you just read the only notes that I took of this episode.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You took that one note?
Yep, that one note. This was going to be the pilot episode, and it didn't make it. So, yeah. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I was going to surprise you and be like, look, I took a note. But, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, David.
Yeah, I did look up stuff. Oh, I have another one, but it's a secret one.
Okay.
And I will bring it up later.
All right.
But you'll probably already know it.
Maybe. I feel like I didn't take as many notes with this one because this one was rough, man.
I mean, it was rough. I did watch it 4 or 5 weeks ago. It's been a while.
Yeah, we've been putting off this recording. All right. We open with the Enterprise flying through space and a captain's log. The Enterprise is in pursuit of an unidentified vessel. We cut to the bridge and Sulu says, "There he is, sir. Center screen." There's only one screen, Sulu. There is one screen. You don't have a center screen.
I guess maybe he was talking about, he has a screen on his console, the other console has a screen.
I don't know. I've seen that console. There's no screen there.
Like a little bitty one. I don't know.
Maybe. I'm just saying, there's one screen, Sulu. You can just say on screen. We see a small ship on the view screen trying to get away from the Enterprise. Kirk asks Spock if it's an Earth ship. Spock's not sure, says we're getting no registration beam from it, and Scotty tells us that if it's an Earth ship, it'll overload its engines soon. The ship changes course again, definitely knows the Enterprise is after him. Uhura tried all communication frequencies. The ship's refusing to answer. Spock informs us that we're approaching an asteroid belt, and Kirk orders Farrell to turn on deflectors, and they actually work. The deflectors work for once.
What?
They work.
I've never seen that happen the entire time I've watched Star Trek.
Yeah. Our renegade ship has also seen the asteroids, and Kirk tells Sulu to keep on him because he'll try to lose us in them. Did Han Solo rip off the whole lose them in an asteroid-filled thing from Harry Mudd?
I mean, if you think about it, Star Trek or Star Wars was in the 70s.
Yeah.
Star Trek was in the 60s.
Han Solo ripped off Harry Mudd.
So every other sci-fi show has also done that. So they ripped off Star Trek too. Just saying.
Okay. Spock gets a reading on the vessel. It's a small Class J cargo ship. Also, its engines are superheating. Way to bury the lead, Spock. Kirk tries to get a warning to them, but their engines blow. The ship drifts into the asteroid belt. The only way they can make it is if the Enterprise puts their deflector screen around the ship. According to Scotty, they're too far away, and that'll overload their engines too. Kirk orders to do it anyway, and sends Spock and Scotty to the transporter room. They can't hold them for long, and our engines are starting to overload. And that ends our teaser.
Okay. So, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
And I know it's actually taking from this episode and not this episode taking from it. The episode in Next Generation, I want to say season 1, maybe 2 or 3, where they, it's almost like Romeo and Juliet, where the smuggler is helping the guy and the girl that are in love.
Okana.
Yeah, Okana.
The outrageous Okana. That one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And do you remember the beginning of that episode?
I don't.
It was pretty much exactly like this.
Star Trek ripping off itself.
Yeah. But I think it was season 1, and a lot of season 1 Next Generation was just like remaking the original series stuff. Not remaking, but
I get what you're saying. Because they did that episode, The Naked Now, where they remade The Naked Time, and everyone hated it, so they're like, okay, we're not going to do that anymore.
Right.
But I guess they did a little bit. You know Harry Mudd was actually supposed to be in an episode of Star Trek Next Generation?
Yeah, I knew that. I hate this Harry Mudd.
Yeah, I hate Harry Mudd so much. He's okay in Discovery. Like, I like Rainn Wilson's portrayal, but Harry Mudd in the original and animated series is the worst.
Did you watch that short track?
I did, yeah.
He kept redoing time to get it right to take over Discovery.
Oh no, that was an episode. The short trick was like he would like pretend to be a different bounty hunter, turn himself in, and then Starfleet would be like, "This is a Harry Mudd android. This isn't Harry Mudd." So like he kept like collecting the bounty on himself. Yeah, that was a fun time. David does not think it was a fun time.
No, I was planning on re-watching that episode just for this podcast, but I didn't.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought about it, not for the podcast, but just like after it, just to get a palate cleanser.
But I feel like I'm starting to watch too much Star Trek.
Me too. Like I watch every original series episode like 3 times. And one of those times is always like, I'm going scene by scene and dissecting it.
Yeah, after you dissect everything, you just can't get back to it. Like,
that's why reviewing Strange New Worlds is so great. By the way, we review Strange New Worlds on our Patreon, and it's not this in-depth. We just watch the episode, turn on the mics, and we talk. It's a fun time. You should check us out on Patreon.
And argue.
Sometimes we argue. Alright, let's get back into the episode. We see the Enterprise flying through an asteroid field. We cut to the bridge, and a voice from the engine room tells us that temperatures are passing the danger line. According to Farrell, our deflector screen's weakening. We hear an electrical noise like a fuse blowing, and a light goes out. Sulu tells us that that's one of our lithium crystals. Kirk calls the transporter room, trying to light a fire under their rears. But Scotty says since they're not answering, there's nothing to lock onto. Another crystal blows, and Uhura gets a distress signal. Kirk tells Scotty, and we cut to Spock's hands operating the transporter controls. Don't know why it's not Scotty's hands.
I don't know. So, do you notice in this episode, it's not dilithium?
I did notice that.
It's lithium.
This is apparently the last time they call them lithium crystals, and after this, it's dilithium.
Yep. That was a note I had.
That was your note?
No, that wasn't my secret one.
Okay.
I did take more than just one note.
Nice.
Yes.
Good job. And onto our transporter pad beams one Harcourt Fenton Mudd, space pirate.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mudd asks where he is, and McCoy tells him he's on the Enterprise. By the way, McCoy's in the transporter room. I didn't mention that before.
I mean, all doctors should be in there. Crusher's
it makes sense.
In there.
Is she?
The doctor on Voyager's usually in there.
Huh. I mean, not for the first few seasons, though, because he was stuck in the medical bay.
Well, Paris was a lot of times. If they didn't have to escape really fast. Paris was in there. But because, I mean, if it's like they're rescuing something from crashing or it's like a really close call on transporting, the doctor's always in there.
Okay. I'm not saying it's weird McCoy's in there. I'm just establishing he's in the scene. Just so later, people aren't like, whoa, McCoy was in the scene? Alright, Mudd says it's a beautiful ship and introduces himself as Captain Leo Walsh. Spock asks how many more are on the ship. Walsh answers a few. Scotty is like, dude, your ship's about to be destroyed. We need to get them over here. Walsh claims they didn't know if the Enterprise is friendly, but the others should be in position. Back on the bridge, another crystal blows. Kirk wants to know how many we've boomed aboard. Scotty says 1, but we're locked onto 3 more. Cut to the transporter room. The transporter's acting weird. It's taking longer because the ship's operating on battery power. What kind of batteries do you think the Enterprise?
D's.
D's? Enterprise D's. Scotty calls McCoy sir, which is weird because they're both the same rank. That was something I noticed.
But, yeah. I was going to say, well...
And Scotty, and we later are going to learn that Scotty's like the higher ranking one because he's second officer. So it doesn't make sense that Scotty's calling McCoy sir.
Maybe he's just calling him sir because he's a guy. And...
I mean, you should call him doctor, though.
I mean, I call my son sir.
That's different.
I call everybody sir.
Okay.
I think I've even called you sir. And you're not older.
Yeah, but we're Southern.
Scotty's Scottish.
Are you saying Scottish is the same as Southern?
Not necessarily. But isn't McCoy Southern?
Yes. McCoy is Southern.
So it should be the other way around. Oh, I don't know.
Anyways, back to Kirk, we see the ship destroyed on the view screen. In the transporter room, we see 3 women beamed aboard, weirdly posed for people who were just on a ship about to be destroyed. Kirk wants a report from the transporter room, but Scotty and McCoy are staring like idiots, and Spock, while not idiot-like, is also staring and not responding.
This episode, like, oh, the women are beautiful. Like, I hate how Star Trek does that. Like,
yeah,
the scene, like, they did it with, on the pilot episode with Pike.
Yeah, with Vina.
With Vina. And she's just like, they just pan the camera closer and, like, make it kind of fuzzy. Like, you probably know, like, the actual terms and everything.
Yeah, zoom in.
And
pan. I don't know.
But, like, it's stupid. Like, you don't, like, go all fuzzy-eyed when you see someone that's beautiful.
But we find out they're on super-powered beauty drugs.
That's placebos.
On the bridge, Farrell informs Kirk that they've cleared the asteroid belt, and Kirk orders the deflector screen off to conserve power. Kirk's still trying to get an answer from the transporter room. He asks, "How many did we get off?" "None yet." Scotty finally answers they got 4, and Kirk orders the captain of the other vessel to his quarters whether he can walk or not. Kirk's pissed.
When is he not?
Spock leads Walsh and the 3 women out of the transporter room into the hallway. Every male crew member stops what they're doing to stare, including the cameraman apparently, because the camera lingers for a while. I almost thought I was watching a Fast and Furious movie. They enter the turbo lift while Walsh is saying some crap about men being men, even on a starship. In the turbo lift, Walsh points out that Spock is part Vulcanian.
Ah, that was my secret note. That he is yet to actually be called a Vulcan. He was close to being called a Vulcan.
Did they not call him Vulcan in the Corbomite maneuver?
No.
Dang.
He's a Vulcanian in this one.
Vulcanian.
That was my secret note. That he's a Vulcanian.
I'm sorry, I'm beating you to all your notes.
Yeah, you take better notes than I do.
Alright, so the women have no effect on him. As they exit the turbo lift, Eve starts to apologize for Mudd, but he cuts her off. This is our first indication that Eve is not just an eye candy, but an actual character.
Yes.
They walk through another hallway and into Kirk's quarters. Kirk's about to lay into Walsh, but sees the woman and gets extremely distracted.
And no kitchen in his quarters.
No kitchen in his quarters.
Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds. Check out our Patreon. I'll stop plugging it now. But Pike gets a kitchen. He asks if this is the crew, and Walsh answers that they're not his crew, they're his cargo. And that's Act 1. Feels like that was a short act.
Yeah. It was way better than the last one with Bailey and
Bailey. Freaking Bailey. Act 2 opens with a captain's log, and the stardate is 1329.1. But in the teaser, the stardate was 1329.8. So how did we go back in time?
I don't know. I thought you said you don't pay attention to those.
I do when I'm taking notes for the episode. I don't when I'm just watching an episode.
I'm not a historian. I don't know those things.
So off mic, Dave and I were talking about star dates, and I told him I don't pay attention. Alright, so we're in Kirk's quarters. The women leave, and Kirk is alone with Walsh. And Walsh immediately tries to spin things in a way to blame Kirk. "I didn't know you were a starship. Of course I tried to evade you. You exceeded your authority," but Kirk's not having it. There's going to be a hearing on Walsh's actions.
"You're a hard-nosed one, Captain. And you're a liar, Mr. Walsh."
Then security escorts Walsh out to be confined to his quarters. We cut to the bridge where Sulu and Farrell are entering from the turbo lift. Farrell is just too love-stricken to function. Sulu's reminding him that he's on duty, so he needs to get his head straight. Sulu clearly also very into these women, which I point out because in Star Trek Beyond, when they made Sulu gay, George Takei didn't like that decision because even though he's gay, Sulu was never written or played that way. And I think this scene is a prime example of that Sulu is straight, even if George Takei is not.
Right.
Takei, not Takei. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, though, so this is just me personally, even if someone's beautiful, you can tell no matter which way you swing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you would think it would affect everybody.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they showed like how having these women on the ship like affected the women on board. Like, what does Uhura think of the situation?
Yeah.
But they don't do that.
I know, because they're sexist back in the 60s.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so Scotty walks over to the captain's chair where Spock's sitting to update him on the ship's problems. They only have one lithium crystal left, and it has a hairline fracture, and they can't run a bypass circuit because they blew out the converter assembly. And hearing that, Spock calls Kirk to the bridge. Now we're in Walsh's quarters, which is actually just Kirk's quarters with the furniture removed. The women are already there, and Walsh is doing a few things here. He's suddenly trying to get the guards to leave, which they won't. He's coaching the women on what to do, but trying to play it off as innocent to the guards. Don't lie, not that you have any reason to. Don't take a medical exam because you're all so healthy, so you don't need a medical exam. Eve wants to know how they're gonna get out of this with no ship and going the wrong direction. She also lets slip that Leo's first name is Harry. Harry quickly hushes her and reminds them that his name is supposed to be Leo Walsh.
Leo.
Leo. Back on the bridge, Kirk is there now, and Spock and Scotty basically update him on what we just saw Scotty update Spock on. The crystals can't hold up for much longer, so Kirk asks for options, and Spock tells Kirk about lithium mining on Rigel 12. It's less than 2 days away, and they order Farrell to set a course. Also, Scotty and Kirk call Harry a jackass, which I'm surprised they got away with in the 60s on television.
Yeah.
Rigel. We're going back to Rigel.
Yeah, I noticed that. Rigel 12?
Rigel 12, not Rigel 7.
Or Rigel 15 or 26. I think this should be a deal.
A Rigel counter?
A Rigel counter. For everybody that has been keeping count, on our red shirt deaths, we are at 2. And this is episode 3, 4? 5,
this is the
12?
fourth we've done.
4th. I can't keep track.
It's hard when the episode numbers aren't the same as the numbers you're doing them in. But yeah, this is our 4th episode.
Episode number 4.
We fade to the Enterprise flying through space. We get a captain's log, and now we're at Harry's hearing. Spock tells Harry to state his name for the record, which leads to a fun little bit.
Did you notice the captain's log did not add any new information?
Yeah, that's why I didn't mention it.
Because the last episode we talked about that.
Yeah. So Spock tells Harry to state his name for the record, which leads to this fun little bit.
State your name for the record.
Leo Francis Walsh.
Incorrect.
Your correct name.
Gentlemen, surely you're not going to take the word of a soulless mechanical device over to that of a real flesh and blood man.
State your correct name for the record.
Harry Mudd.
Incorrect.
Harcourt Fenton Mudd.
Did the voice of the computer sound familiar to you?
Is it number 1?
It is number 1. The computer was voiced by Majel Barrett, who we last saw as number 1 in The Cage. She'll also go on to voice the Enterprise D's computer.
What about Voyager's computer?
Yeah, it's the same computer.
And Deep Space Nine.
Okay, so all the Federation computers, it's her voice, but if it's the station or a Bajor computer, it's a different voice. But she's like the Runabout and the Defiance computer.
Right.
She's basically all the computers in the 90s.
So what about Enterprise?
I don't think the Enterprise from Enterprise had a voice.
I don't think they did.
Yeah, I don't think that computer had a voice. The last thing she voiced the computer in was the 2009 movie. She passed away after that.
I mean, they could use her voice still digitally.
Yeah, sometimes. They redid it for the last season of Picard for the Enterprise D.
I mean, they can put Carrie Fisher in an entire movie without her.
Okay, but your estate has to be yes, this is okay.
I know.
I wish they probably would. The Roddenberrys are still very involved in Star Trek.
Yeah, because isn't there one a Rod Roddenberry or something?
Yeah. Yeah, he still produces. He's Majel Barrett's and Gene Roddenberry's son. So
yeah,
that tracks.
Anyways,
Spock asks about any past offenses, and we basically learn that Mudd is a space pirate with a rap sheet a mile long.
So, fun fact. If you read if you actually listen to all those are all just bureaucratic nonsense. Flying without a flight plan. It's the galaxy. Like, are you saying, "Oh, I'm gonna fly to Rigel 6, then 7,
If you're an Earth ship, yeah.
then 10, and then flying with it without a license"? Like, come on, dude. It's the galaxy.
Hey, Galaxy has laws.
But does the Enterprise file a flight plan
Yes.
all the time?
Yes.
Every single time.
It's
Like every
a
single
starship.
every single move they do.
Think about it as if like the Enterprise is like a submarine in the ocean, and like Mudd is like a ship sailing through the ocean.
I thought you were going a completely different direction there, but
So like the Enterprise is the military, so they don't have to like do all the things that like a civilian on a boat has to do.
I mean, a civilian on a boat can just go wherever they want to go.
Not necessarily. Like you can't be like going through international waters or like smuggling
You
crap.
on international waters.
Not if you're smuggling crap. Anyways,
that's where you smuggle the crap because nobody can get you there. It's international.
Whatever.
It's when
Harry
you
Mudd's
come
a space
back.
pirate. Whatever. Let's get back to the scene. Rap sheet a mile long, smuggling, buying ships with counterfeit currency, transporting stolen goods, attacking starships via space whale.
Stealing a space whale? Is that what you
Just
said?
saying if you're paying attention.
Oh, I was like...
That was a
what?
Discovery reference.
Yeah.
He was apparently sentenced to psychiatric treatment where, according to the computer, the effectiveness was disputed. Kirk's charging Mudd with galaxy travel without a flight plan, without an identification beam, failure to answer a starship signal, and operation of a vessel without a master's license. Then Mudd tries to spin a tale about Leo Walsh, who was supposed to captain the vessel before passing away, and mid-ramble the women activate their superpowers, which is weird. Until now, they've been playing it like the women just have this magnetism all the time. But now everyone was acting normal until the woman started staring at the men and causing their horn dog gene.
Stupid.
It is so stupid. Kirk's done with Mudd's crap and asks where they're going and why. And Mudd answers honestly, Ophiuchus 3 to wives settlers, which throws Kirk off guard. Wait, what? Kirk asks the computer for data on the witnesses, comes up with nothing, orders a sensor probe for unusual reading. None with the women, but the men have very unusual readings, rising temperature, shortness of breath, stuff like that. Kirk asks if the women came voluntarily, and it turns out, yeah, they're all from places where there's no men, so they want to be married off to settlers. Then Eve speaks up because she's fed up because she wants to get married and they're being taken in the wrong direction. Kirk ends the hearing and Eve's throwing a fit, trying to latch onto Kirk. What about us?
Can I say?
Yeah.
You keep saying the wrong direction when it's space. You just kind of...
Okay, well, if you're going this way and the planet's this way, it's the wrong direction.
Yeah, but you can just kind of...
Still, they're not headed that way.
Anyway.
Alright, yeah. Eve's trying to latch onto Kirk. What about us? You need to help us. Then the last crystal goes out, and Eve's still throwing her tantrum. Kirk's got bigger things to deal with. Life support is running on batteries. Kirk orders Spock to contact the miners. They'll need the crystals immediately.
The lithium batteries are running low.
They all leave the room except for Mudd, the women, and multiple security guards, I'm going to point out, because Mudd's new plan is to marry the woman to the rich lithium miners and try to take over the ship, which he clearly says in front of multiple security guards. If this is Starfleet's finest, maybe red shirts deserve to die.
Yeah.
Didn't even report it.
So does this count as a red shirt death?
No, because no red shirts die.
Or,
these security guards just deserve it.
Yeah, they do.
Alright, and that's the end of Act 2.
Captain's log, stardate 1330.1. Position 14 hours out of Rigel 12. We're on auxiliary impulse engines. Fuel low, barely sufficient to achieve orbit over the planet. Lithium replacements are now imperative. The effect of Mudd's women on my crew continues to grow, still totally unexplained. Harry Mudd is confined to his quarters under guard.
After the captain's log, we cut to the medical scanner on the wall in sickbay and pan over to McCoy. Ruth is at the door and asks to come in, and you would think that after being told not to take a medical exam, you'd want to avoid sickbay.
Yeah. Why does she go in there?
I think she's trying to get information out of McCoy about the miners.
Oh.
Anyways, McCoy says she can come in, and there's an extra named Connors that McCoy kicks out. And I'm going to stop on Connors for a second, because so far he has been in every episode we've done, starting with the second pilot. He was played by Eddie Paskey, and in Where No Man Has Gone Before, he was in a blue jumpsuit. In the Corbomite maneuver, he was a red shirt, and now he's in a green jumpsuit, but finally gets a name. He'll show up more throughout the series. Mostly as a red shirt, I think.
Huh. Does he ever die?
I don't think so, but
Oh,
maybe.
dang it.
He might. Back on topic. Ruth is using her sexist superpowers to get information out of Bones when she walks by the medical scanner and it lights up and starts beeping. Now McCoy's intrigued. You can see he's torn between his attraction for this woman and trying to figure out why the scanner is doing that. He asks her to walk by it again because he promises it's not a medical exam. And she probably thinks if you say gullible real slow, it sounds like orange.
It probably does. I'm joking.
She gets what she needs out of him, that there's three... There's... She gets what she needs out of him, that there's 3 miners and they're all healthy, although there's no way he could possibly know that. McCoy asks if she has any weird perfume or anything radioactive on her, and she says no and leaves.
Why is she wearing radioactive perfume?
No, he's asking just because he's trying to figure out like what might have caused the beeping of the scanner. Kirk walks into his quarters and Eve is lying on the bed. She says, "I hope you don't mind, Captain." And he's like, "Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do mind." She comes up with some story that she had to run in because she was taking a walk and the crew wouldn't stop staring at her. Really, she's just there to distract Kirk from Mudd. Kirk apologizes and she says something like, "They're probably just lonely. I'm lonely. You're probably lonely. Let me use my superpowers to seduce you." There's a really good line in here where she says,
I read once a commander has to act like a paragon of virtue. I never met a paragon.
Neither have I.
she's trying to pull him into a kiss, but Kirk's like, "I do not consent to this," and breaks it off. And she gets mad because she likes him, but Mudd put her up to this, and she just can't go through with it, and storms out.
Do you remember Scout Camp?
Be more specific.
The sexual harassment training.
Yeah.
This is my no-no square.
Oh, that was nothing. You should have seen the sexual harassment training I had to go when I worked at Hale. I actually had to go through an online class for it every summer, which I was glad to do. I don't want to didn't want to cross a line or anything.
Right.
I say that I ended up marrying one of my coworkers at camp.
I married one of my coworkers from work. Yeah, so yeah.
Anyways, cut to Magda in a hallway walking to Mudd's quarters. Ruth's giving Mudd the info she got from McCoy. Plus, they've been alone for 3 years. Magna gives Mudd their names. Eve comes in and she's pissed at Mudd. But all of a sudden, she's not feeling so good. Clearly, whatever this is has something to do with the mystery of Mudd's women. Now we're on the bridge. Kirk is reprimanding Farrell because he's sick of having to repeat himself because his crew's going girl crazy. Farrell is getting dangerously close to becoming a Bailey.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad Bailey went with Baylock.
Yeah. Scotty tells Kirk they'll get there, but it'll be a rough orbit. Kirk and McCoy start discussing the mystery behind the females' superpowers, and they've got nothing. But it can't be aliens because aliens that are this smart would figure out how to make the medical scanner not go bleep, as McCoy says.
Yeah.
Back at Mudd's quarters, they've acquired a communicator and the right frequency to contact the miners on Rigel 12. We see a shot of the Enterprise approaching Rigel on the bridge. Power's still dropping, and Spock tells us we can maintain orbit for 3 days and 7 hours. Kirk orders Uhura to contact the miners. Also, she's still wearing gold in this episode. I didn't realize how long she wore a gold shirt before she switched to red. Yeah. In Mudd's quarters, we learned that the women's superpowers are pill-based. He can't find them because he stashed them away in case he was searched. Ruth and Magna's faces are completely changing. Their prosthetics are convincing. Meanwhile, Eve looks exactly the same, just without nice stage lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mudd finds the pills. Ruth and Magna are just about to tackle him to get to them, but he has to convince Eve to take it, and she does. Cut to Spock holding a crystal, and he inadvertently kind of gives us the message of the episode.
Even burned and cracked, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
The end of that line was destroying them was a shame, which Kirk has to remind him that 4 people would have died had they not destroyed them. Odd moment. Just odd moment. Kirk's doorbell rings, and in walks a couple of our miners, Childress and Gossett. Childress is all business. I have the crystals. You need them. Kirk is ready to pay, but the miners don't want money now. They want the woman and Mudd to go free.
And Kirk's like, how do you even know about the women?
Yeah, Kirk starts to laugh at first. He'd have the upper hand in any other scenario, but he's desperate and the miners know it. Kirk tries playing the Starfleet card. A 3-man operation this far out in space depends on Starfleet for cargo runs, medical care, starship protection, and Childress calls his bluff and walks in Mudd with the women in tow. How did he get past the armed guard?
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
Maybe the armed guard's gone?
Yeah, it's still weird. He should still have a guard.
Yeah.
But yeah, Childress and Gossett are very into Mudd's women. Kirk tries to keep control of the situation, but then the lights flicker and Mudd calls him out on the fact that he'll have to make a deal. He has no other options. And there's the end of Act 3.
The end of Act 3.
Act 3. Home stretch now.
Uh-oh.
It feels like this is going fast. It feels like this is going to be our shortest episode.
I don't think it's because there's not really much to input.
Yeah. That's probably it.
Yeah.
We need more tangents.
I think I'm almost tangent out
Yeah.
for the day.
Yeah. Act 4 opens with an exterior shot of the miners' quarters on Rigel 12. Kirk, Spock, and Mudd beam down to the planet and walk into Childress' quarters. Kirk accepted defeat. You win, now give me the crystals. Childress shrugs him off to go flirt with Eve. And I'm like, dude, you got your space hookers. Now give them the crystals before people start dying up there. Childress points out to Eve that the wind is really bad. You can get lost just a few steps from your door. We hear an electric crackling sound, and Childress says that it's a magnetic storm, meaning the wind's really going to get bad out there.
Can I say?
Yes, you can.
I think at this part, they're dancing.
Yeah, they're about to start dancing.
Okay, so next part, they're about to start dancing.
Yeah.
There's no music.
Is there no music?
There is no music. What are they dancing to?
I don't know.
And the sound that you hear on the TV is just like an eerie sound. I thought this was a horror film.
Maybe. Once we get more into the original series, there's a lot of horror elements to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so Ruth and Gossett are dancing. Magda and Benton start dancing, so Childress asks Eve to dance. She says no and starts coughing, apologizes, says it must be the dust. He gets angry and goes over to Ruth, pushes Gossett away, and starts dancing with her. Gossett...
I wouldn't have danced either, because there's no music.
Yeah. Gossett, being a moron, walks over to Magda and tries to cut in. Benton, having a spine, says, "No, you're not." And then there's a fight. Kirk, Spock, and Childress all jump in, try to break up the fight. Eve runs out into the storm because the miners are fighting over the other woman and not her. Kirk runs out after her.
Captain's log. Have transported aboard the Enterprise to implement search with infrared scanners and sensing system. Magnetic storms on the planet's surface are cutting down speed and efficiency of our equipment. Search now in progress for 3 hours, 18 minutes.
On the bridge, we're trying to search for Eve with scanners, but having no luck. The storm's ionizing the atmosphere and making it more difficult, and Scotty points out that it's draining more energy, and we need the crystals. Scotty spends a lot of time on the bridge. Shouldn't he be taking care of the warp core or something?
Yeah, he does. But I mean,
I don't think we have an engineering section yet.
But in all honesty, Jordy spent a lot of time outside of engineer too.
Yeah, but he didn't spend nearly as much time on the bridge. You didn't often see Jordy on the bridge. You did sometimes, but not always.
Well, the later seasons he was on the bridge, but then there was also an engineering section
Yeah.
on the computers on the backside of the bridge.
Yeah, but Jordy spent a lot of time like in engineering.
Yeah.
Scotty hasn't so far. Oh, I don't think we see engineering for the first time till the next episode. Kirk gets angry. I don't have your dang crystals. I screwed up. Are you happy? Her reports that they're losing comms with the miners and that Eve and Childress are still missing. Kirk apologizes to Scotty, and Scotty says, "We have 5 hours of power left, sir." Childress finds Eve, brings her to his quarters, lays her on the bed, and passes out on a bench. We get another captain's log. The Enterprise has 43 minutes of power left. On the bridge, they get a heat signature coming from Childress's quarters, and Kirk orders for Mudd to meet him in the transporter room. Cut to Childress's quarters. Eve's cooking. Childress wakes up and immediately starts being a butt. I liked how it was before you cleaned it. I do my own cooking. Then he says, quote, "Now I have not laid a hand on you. Remember that." What kind of response is he expecting? "Aw, you're my hero. You didn't rape me." Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, a 60s response.
Yeah. Eve takes a shot at his ego. After giving him his food, he says, "I guess I'm supposed to sit, taste it, roll my eyes. Ooh, female cooking again." So he takes it, rolls his eyes, and acts like his cooking's better. She points out there's so much gunk on the pans that she couldn't scrape it off. He says, "Well, there's no good water out here." And she asks, "Why don't you just hang the pans outside and have the sand blast it?" Which is a good idea, because cut to him hanging his pans outside so the sand can blast it. Now, if you have enough time to go and hang your pans out to have them blasted, why are you not calling the Enterprise to say you found her and come get your crystals?
Yeah.
Childress is just dumb.
Yeah, very dumb.
Childress walks back inside and Evie's playing cards. The cards are circles, which is a cool detail.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they forget that in the rest of Star Trek, but it's a good detail.
No, they have circle cards.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know in Next Generation they're just using normal playing cards, not circles.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen
there might be circles
cards
in other places.
Yeah.
I've just never noticed them before.
In Next Generation, they're using regular cards, I think, because Riker seems a little nostalgic.
Yeah. Also, how you gonna do the bridge and shuffle cards and deal them out with circles?
I mean, I bet
it'd be more difficult. Data could do it.
Yeah.
Brent Spiner might have a problem with that, but
yeah.
He asks if she's playing solitaire. She says no, it's double jack. And he says you should put that card there. And she tells him that's not how double jack works. And he says she's a terrible company. Dude, you're the one who's telling her how to play a game that you obviously don't know how to play.
Right.
And she's the terrible company? Come on, dude. He also calls her ugly and asks what happened to her looks. Dude, she looks the same. The lighting's just different.
Yeah.
He gets angry and starts to go on about the kind of woman he could buy with his crystals, and Kirk walks in. Immediately, Childress, unprovoked, says, "I didn't touch her." Now, I don't know about you, but if I walk into a room and a guy says, "I didn't touch her," I'm gonna think that he touched her.
Yeah, I would immediately just start throwing hands.
Start throwing hands. Kirk makes Mudd tell Childress about the Venus drug, how it makes men more muscular and masculine, and how it makes women more feminine, and how the woman took it before meeting the miners. Childress wants to know if it means that the others look like she does. Eve says yes, but I would say no. The others actually look different when they're not on the truck. Kirk says the others got married through subspace radio marriage. Childress attacks Mudd and Kirk pushes him back. I don't know why you're upset. It's your partners who got the really raw deal.
Yeah.
Childress is about to start monologuing about how hard mining is and how they almost died, and how now that they have the good life, they get ugly wives. Man, I'm glad I didn't live through the 60s.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Although I probably would have had it good. I'm a white man.
I probably wouldn't have been watching Star Trek. I probably would have been watching Three's Company.
Oh, yeah. Was that a 60s show?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
Come and knock on our door.
I think that was a 90s show.
I thought it was the 70s, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, they have bell bottoms and stuff.
We'll have to look that up later.
Yeah.
And Eve says they don't want wives, they want blow-up dolls. Okay, she doesn't say that, but she says that they want this. She takes the drug, and her hair and makeup are somehow magically done, even though she just took red Jello.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense. Kirk says, "Quite a woman, eh?" Childress says, "It's fake. The drug did it." And Kirk says, "Nope. Self-confidence. That was Jello." Now, Kirk's done with this crap and wants the crystals, and he wants them now. He calls Spock on the communicator, threatens Childress with a search party, and Childress gives them freely, and wants Eve to stay. Eve does. As they leave, Mudd asks if they can just strand him on this planet. Kirk says, "No, but I can be a character witness at your trial if you think it'll help." Mudd says they throw the key away, which is a good bit of comedy between the two.
Right.
Yeah. One thing I can say about Mudd in these episodes, like, good comedic timing. Like, that's the one thing I'll give him.
How did he escape prison from when Discovery?
I don't think he goes to prison at the end of Discovery. I think they hand him over to his wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he escapes his wife. Okay. We cut to the Enterprise on the bridge. Kirk and McCoy have a moment. Nothing worth mentioning. Spock comes over and gives my review of this episode. "I'm happy the affair is over. A most annoying, emotional episode." McCoy says, "Smack right in the heart." "Oh, I'm sorry, your heart would be here," and points to his side. Spock replies, "The fact that my internal arrangement differs from yours, Doctor, pleases me to no end." Kirk orders Sulu and Farrell to get us out of here, and that ends the episode.
So, what was your thoughts on the entire episode?
This was rough. It was not good. It was very sexist.
Yeah, it's not a very good episode.
But we're going to see Mudd 4 more times. 5 if you count short treks.
Yeah.
This version we'll see 2 more times.
So, not talking about Star Trek.
Yeah.
But not talking about this episode.
Okay.
So, I'm a big TikToker.
Okay.
And I found a woman on TikTok that makes songs about Star Trek.
Okay.
Can I at least say where she's at on
yes,
TikTok?
you can plug her.
Okay. So it's at, and I'll just spell it out because I don't know how to say it, REINAOFTHECID. But she makes a lot of funny Star Trek content, but their songs and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really cool. You guys should go check her out.
Alright. What I'll say about this episode is clearly they enjoyed working with the actor because they brought him back a couple times. So, if the episode's not good, clearly they had a good relationship with the actor. And the actor was good on set.
Yeah. Yeah, the actor has to be good, at least. I mean, he played the character well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the original series episodes are just long-winded and full of nothingness.
Sometimes. There are good original series episodes, but, this was just not one of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Alright. Join us next week when we watch The Enemy Within, the one where the first transporter clone of Star Trek.
Oh, good lord.
Alright. You can find me everywhere at Couch Talks Movies, and if you can't, drop the S off of movies. David, tell the people where they can find you.
They can find me on TikTok at Commodore Moss. And that's it. That's all
And check out David's new YouTube channel, Pops on a Budget.
Which I will probably stop filming for a while, because I had someone move into my pop room.
Oh,
So, yeah.
subscribe anyway. Give them
Yeah.
your support.
Yeah, subscribe.
All right, and you can find the show at Tomorrow Trek Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also find us at patreon.com/tomorrowisyesterday, where we're reviewing new episodes of Star Trek. Like we've done every episode of this season of Strange New Worlds. We post behind-the-scenes clips, us checking the mics and having conversations. We did a rant about the deal with Star Trek Prodigy. So, check us out on Patreon if you're interested.
I sing a lot on there.
He sometimes sings during our mic checks. All right, and until next time.
Live long and don't be a Bailey. That's the wrong episode.
That was last week.
Don't be a Mudd.
Live long and don't be a Mudd.